In the beginning, we see a young boy named Yuji Kazami being investigated by the police as a suspect that he is a terrorist. But when he tells them that he is an occupation student, they apologize to him and leave him. On being released, he is picked by Chizuru Takabana, the principal of Mahima Academy, and taken to the academy. Here they introduce each other and Yuji asks her some important questions about the academy, and learns that the school is ordinary, as he wished for, and consists of only 6 people including him. After that, she takes him to his furnished room in the dormitory where he meets a fellow girl named Sachai Kamai, wearing a maid-like dress. She reveals that the teachers say that she looks like a maid, so she should wear a maid-like dress. Then she shows him the whole room and Yuji praises her for keeping the cleanliness there. Later at night, Yuji thinks of studying in an ordinary school while having a bath. In the morning, Yuji wakes up early and goes for a walk while remembering the words of his master. Later on, he gets ready for the class and upon leaving his room, he runs into 2 other fellow girls, Amane Suu and Makina Arisu. When he enters the class, he sees another fellow girl named Mikairu Matsushima who was doing some acting practice. They introduce each other and learn that she is the type of girl who likes to attract boys, which angers her and she behaves rudely. After that, the class begins and Yuji comes to know that only one student is absent from the class. Makina informs him that the absent fellow girl, Yumiko Sakaki, comes only in the evening. The next day, Yuji comes to the class in the evening to introduce himself to Yumiko, but she tries to cut him with a box cutter. Yuji manages to handle her attack and says that he had already expected something from him, but not a knife. She gets furious and leaves the classroom. Afterwards, Yuji returns to his dormitory, and upon entering his room he finds Amane changing her clothes there. He ignores her and starts his activities. Amane asks Yuji if he has an elder sister. He says that he had one whose name was Kazuki, who appears to be recognized by Amane. So she claims that she will be his elder sister from now on and tells him that she will make him dinner. After she leaves, Yuji comes to know that he had entered his bedroom without breaking the lock. After a while, Yuji receives a call from JB giving him a job to do. So he opens his locker and takes out something. On the other hand, Yumiko proclaims that she will never accept Yuji. Episode 2, Yuji gets random attacks from Yumiko, but realizing that she is some kind of frustrated, he ignores her all the time. After that, he finds Makina, who was pretty shy, sleeping in a garden with an apple lying on her. He checks if she is alright. When she wakes up, she tries to catch a fish from the water, and Yuji helps her to catch the fish, which makes her move her heart soften toward Yuji, and she decides to call him her big brother. Later, Yuji goes to the principal office to discuss her strange attitude toward Yumiko. He tells her that she is continually attacking him, so the matter should be solved as soon as possible. She reveals that every student in the school has arrived under some special circumstances of their own. After the meeting, JB, Yuji's boss, arrives to look after Yuji, but he seems to be ignoring her. After a bitter conversation between them, she leaves in her big car. But his arrival makes Amane pretty curious that whether Yuji has a girlfriend or not. All the girls inquire about JB. He tells them that she is her boss from a part-time job picking dirt from different places. But this makes all the girls even more curious, and they ask him why he, such a beautiful blonde, got into the dirt-picking business. But Yuji tells them not to ask any other questions on that matter. Later in the dorm, he is once again attacked by Yumiko, but he grabs her hand to block her attack, and his cutter falls, making her embarrassed. Yuji even says sorry to her, which makes her quite surprised. After it, he tries to calm Yumiko, and tells her that he is not her enemy, but he can be a good friend to her, and allows her to observe him as much as possible for that if she still has some doubts about him. This makes Yumiko move, and from that day onwards she becomes polite towards Yuji. Afterwards, Yumiko seems to pick up the garbage from a park, and she meets an old lady which seems happy about Yumiko's action. Meanwhile, the other fellows come there, and the old lady, seeing them, asks her if they were her friends. Therefore, the old lady gives her a lot of prayers for the well-being of her friends, which makes her remember Yuji, his words, and the offer of friendship. And she feels that deeply. After that, a scene shows the arrival of all the girl students at Mahima Academy and how they became good friends. Later, Yumiko is called by the principal into her office. The principal tells her about the new transfer student Yuji, who is a boy, hence she gets furious, that feels panic that he could rape all the girls, but the principal assures her that nothing would happen like this. Episode 3, Yuji, after his morning walk and exercise, returns to his room and sees Amane breaking out in his bedroom. At the moment, he thinks that she might be a thief, but he stands still behind the door and observes her actions. After a while, he learns that all she wanted is to give him a wake-up kiss, as she jumped on his bed and smells his clothes, which compels him to masturbate. Then Yuji appears in front of her and she feels embarrassed. But Yuji ignores her and starts doing his usual activities. Later that morning, Yuji gets late from class and rushes to get in, and somehow he manages to attend the class in time. Later in the evening, Yuji, while sitting alone, hears an erotic voice which compels him to step forward to find out. Therefore he goes to check and finds out it was Mikairu who is playing with her kitten. After that he returns to his room. The next day, he unintentionally appears to agree to have Sachai create him a shark pouch only using glitter, though Mikairu's quick thinking allows him to attempt to impose the pouch on Makina. Later at the gym, Amane injures her ankle and shouts for help, hence Yuji carries her and takes her to the dispensary. After getting her wound fixed, she says thanks to Yuji and politely requests him to be her boyfriend, which makes him amazed. However, he doesn't accept her request, so she changes her request: if you don't want to make me your girlfriend, then let me be your big sister. Hearing this, Yuji becomes comfortable and agrees to it. After that, Yuji is seen sitting in the classroom while Amane arrives and calls him casually, which is not like Yuji. After that, Amane and Makina eat lunch with Yuji. Amane, as his elder sister, makes him eat even his part so that Yuji feels good and tells them his story that his master died a long ago, and after his death, he decided not to get involved with other people and he was missing the life like this. And in the past he used to be stressed while thinking to enjoy some little moments with new people. So far, now he feels better to have such an ordinary and simple life here in Mahima Academy with amazing class fellows. Episode 4. On a morning, Yaoji gets up early and goes for a morning walk. While jogging in the park, he sees Mikairu sitting on the grass and her cat sitting on her lap while looking at the sea. Yaoji stops there and starts a conversation with her, and comes to know that she likes this scenery a lot and she wants to be buried here after her death. As she asked Yaoji what happens after death, it seems like she wants to die. Later in the evening, Yaoji and other fellow girls discuss the recent strange behavior of Mikairu. And the following night, Yaoji hears Yumiko screaming out loud while it was dark out. He rushes toward her and finds that Mikairu is behaving like a demon. Yaoji and Yumiko hide and notice her actions. The next day, all the girls say to Yumiko that they are going to make a friendship with Yaoji. She leaves them, saying that friendship between men and women is not possible. After that, Yaoji rushes to Mikairu, who was crying sitting beside a fountain in the school. He offers her some help, but she refuses and asks to leave her alone. After some time, Yaoji thinks that he should not leave Mikairu alone, and being careful, he again goes to the place where he found Mikairu a day back. Upon reaching there, Yaoji finds a different Mikairu who thanks him for his coming to check on her. He realizes that a big change in her personality. She seems very polite and humble towards him and asks him for a kiss. He agrees and she kisses her, but all of a sudden her personality again changes to normal and she looks angry again. The next day, Mikairu asks Yaoji what her other personality had done with him yesterday, on which he almost kisses her and she runs freaking out to calm herself, and her cats run away. Later at the sunset, they both meet again while Mikairu keeps searching for her cat, which she named Meow. They discuss a lot about life and relationships and also her previous behavior of her with all of her fellow students. After a long discussion, they want to get back to their dorms. Yaoji suggests she go alone and head back soon. But before they could walk further, Yaoji finds Meow ran over by a car and she is about to die. Mikairu rushes toward her while crying. Yaoji instantly stops a taxi on the road and asks the driver to take them to the hospital. They all rush toward the hospital, but the Meow seems to take her last breath and dies in Mikairu's lap.